go. Excellent. So, I want to extend a welcome for all of those that are joining us for the first time. Thank you for being here. Anybody joining us for the first time online? Thank you for being here. You know, we can feel you like you're right in the front row with us. We're all one, in the one, as the one, with the one, we are the one, right? And we breathe in. Excellent. So, today I am going to be speaking a little bit about what I spoke about last week. Remember, we addressed the mental equivalent. So the theme for the month is speaking truth to circumstance. We just talk to it, we see it for what it is, and we address it in more of a personal and a global way. The topic for today is wise warrior. Doesn't that sound? I can just see Zena. Wow. I don't know if she was as wise as she should have been, but she was fierce. She was a wise warrior. So when I heard wise warrior, I thought, wow, the first thing that came to my mind was the samurai. But before I get into that, we need something to laugh about right here, right now. So I always have a little funny for you. And I'm going to speak about this Buddhist that went to a ball game. And he was, a ball game. You can pick which one you like, they're the same. Went to a ball game, went up to the sandwich vendor at the ball game and said, please, make me one with everything. I'll do that one again. This Buddhist went up to the sandwich maker and said, please make me one with everything. Yes, ta-dang. But then after that the man received his sandwich, he gave the vendor a $20 bill. The vendor just smiled. The man, infuriated, demanded, where is my change? The vendor replied, oh, one with everything. Change comes from within. One has to have some levity because life is where we live it. Living life out loud is the theme for the whole year, and we do that. So, getting back to the samurai warrior, when I was going through the mental equivalent, and I was seeing the way that we embody our thoughts to do and attract to us that which we desire. And the samurai warrior, they had a training to go into battle that would be horse-mounted archery. I'm sure you guys have all seen a myriad of samurai movies, including The Last Samurai, Shogun, all of them. And in there we see these mounted archers, right? It's called Yabusame archery. It came forward in the Kamakura era, and it was a military training to exercise and to train warriors for war. Since then, it's become less for war and more as it's competitive, it's competition. But the whole point of it all is to get in a discipline whereby you become one with the horse, one with everything. So at this very, very fast gallop, the archer can pull the quill, can't pull it until you're at full gallop, right? So they are both hands. They pull the quill, they put it in their bow, and they shoot to hit 3 different targets on the way. At a gallop, taking into account everything, the wind, everything that might go on, and this is what they do. And those that have trained in the discipline for a long period of time hit this quite easily. But in one of the movies where I was watching, they added to this discipline by putting a blindfold on the archer. Oh yeah, putting a blindfold on the archer. So this takes the discipline to a whole new level. This is no longer, I can count the steps, I can feel the horse, I can see the target and point and shoot. Even though you shoot it once you've passed the target to account for the wind, you got to just know where it is. So this discipline is this way of bringing in a connection, an embodiment with everything around you. You are not only one with yourself and the horse, you're one with the arrow. You're one with the target. You are one with the one. There is a faith and a trust in there. You work at this, they train at this, and the purpose and the desire and the awareness they want to come to is called sation. Sation. It is literally translates as remain in mind. It's the relaxed alertness. It's this awareness that is fully present. But it's not just fully present, it's fully embodied in you. So that you can put a blindfold on and still hit those targets. There's a place that you get to as well, they called mushin, which is no mind or empty mind. And if you think about what we're doing when we are embodying the things that we want to do, when we want to embody our mental equivalent, we are literally emptying our mind to take the journey from here to here. The longest journey we know, right? You remember me saying this? We empty the mind so that it becomes embodied in the body. We see this in all of the martial arts, all of them. We even see it in all of the other movies, Star Wars. Everybody, even in the Matrix. We take our mind out of it and we just allow the embodiment of what it is to do. We use the force. May the 4th be with you. I think that's her birthday. Yes. So there's this beautiful image and idea in every one of the martial arts movies where we see a natural embodiment of what is going on, being one with the one. It's going beyond just having the mental equivalent. It is being in it. You know, Yoda always liked to say, there's no trying, there's just doing, right? No trying, just doing. Actually, it's not even doing, it's being. And therein lies the height of this discipline, is to be. To be in the moment, to be in that place, to just be. And we're doing this. We're all working at this every single day. We're wanting to embody that which we desire so that we can attract it to us easily. Because that's what we spoke about last week. The mental equivalent, you have the idea, you move it down to the thought and the feeling, and then you embody it, because the belief is where we attract everything from. And then I have somebody that comes to me and goes, Rev Bev, I'm working at this, but it's not working. I am not seeing around me those things that I truly desire, because you said that what you see around you is what you believe. I'm working at this. I'm making mental equivalents. I'm doing the ideas. I'm thinking the thoughts. I'm bringing it forward. I'm doing the work. And you know what I say to them? What is the thought you are having? What is the thought that you are creating from? So often we think we're having the perfect thought. We're having this wonderful thought. It's blissful. It's fantastic. It's everything I desire. Is it really? So I ask the question, let's look at the thought. What is the thought that you are having, that you are creating from? So we sit down, we have a session, and we realize that the thought was not right thinking. It was not right thinking. Marianne Williamson says, thought is the cause and experience is effect. If you don't like the effects in your life, you can change the nature of your thinking. You can change the nature of your thinking. What do we teach here? Change your thinking, change your life. Now that's not just the thinking right up here. That's not just, okay, I'm going to change the thought, I'm going to have it. No. It is the beginning of the process to embody a different experience being attracted to you. Maybe I should say that again. So, you change your thought. That is the first. That is the seed. If you look at our creative symbol, that is the seed. The thought, the idea is the seed that we plant in the soil of our consciousness, our subconsciousness, our beingness, to bring forth what it is we desire. So we change the thought first. Then we allow it to grow, we allow it to move to the feeling tone, we allow ourselves to embody it so we can attract to us what it is we desire to experience. It's easy, right? Yeah. Anybody working on doing that right now? Yes. Anybody? Anybody else? Yes. I think we can all put our hands up, because here's the thing. We don't always realize when our thinking is not right thinking, because we are creating it from that place of what it is we think we desire to have, as opposed to allowing the divine to bring forward something for us, to show us. And we learn how to do that through our practices, through all our spiritual practices, the meditations, the journaling. We allow something more to come forward. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he says, to learn how to think is to learn how to live. For each person, by thinking, can bring into their experience whatever they desire. I'm going to say that again before going on. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. For each person, by thinking, can bring into their experience whatsoever they desire. If one thinks correctly and becomes a living embodiment of their thoughts. If one thinks correctly and becomes a living embodiment of their thoughts, they can bring into their experience whatever they desire. So we can see how this discipline that the warriors, the samurai warriors, had is a way to attract to you what you desire, to embody fully, to be. It's all about being. It's not about doing. It's about being. This is what we want to be in the world. We say, be the change you want to see. Not do the change you want to see. Now, don't get me wrong. Doing is not bad. There are things that we need to do. But in the beingness, there is so much more power. You are literally using the force, that power for good in the universe that's greater than we are. We get to use it by being with it. By allowing that beingness to be in us, to embody us. And one of the ways we want to do that as wise warriors is that many times we see warriors as fighting for this good, fighting for this, fighting for this. This is a doingness. Fighting. A wise warrior does not need to fight. A wise warrior can come from that place of peace and poise, of knowingness, of beingness. Because if we want to make change in this world, the best way we do it is by being the change. We're not going to do the change. Sure, We recycle. We do this. We do that. We save the planet as best we can in our doing this, but we have to be the consciousness that can make these changes happen globally. I can take one can and put it and recycle it in the can, or I can have that thought that embodies in me and becomes the beingness of who I am, that generates this vibration that cannot be stopped. There's a power in that. This is what the wise warriors can do. The way of the world is the unpeaceful, the unwise warrior. They joust at every windmill that comes along. The wise warrior is already anchored in peace and poise. They are focused on what needs to happen without needing to fight, for they recognize that all is one already. All they bring is a recentering into the oneness. One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. That is from Dr. Ernest Holmes. One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. So when we become centered and one with the one, we are the majority. We're no longer alone, for we are working in consciousness. This is the way of the wise warrior. So this is what we want to do. We want to step forward as wise warriors to benefit the world. We don't want to fight every step of the way. We want to allow the beingness of who we are, who we've agreed to be, who we are choosing to be, who we have found that this works not just for us, but for the world. We embody that emotion. We embody those desires, and we work from that point of view. This makes us wise warriors. Even Sitting Bull said, "Warriors are not what you think of as warriors. The warrior is not someone who fights. The warrior for us is the one who sacrifices themselves for the good of others. Their task is to take care of the elderly, the defenseless, those who cannot provide for themselves, and above all, the children, the future of humanity." The warriors are not made to fight. They're the ones that take care. We're taking care of us. We're taking care of those around us. We're taking care of the world. But we have to begin within. Therein lies the change. Even the vendor at the game realized the change came from within. So the change is within us. We look at what we're thinking. We change that thought so that we can create something different that literally embodies in us, so we can attract it to us, be it, and then send it out into the world. That's how we make a change. Anybody? That's how we make the change. And it's peaceful. And it's simple. Yeah, not so simple, right? It is simple. It is simple to do, for it is in the small acts that we change these things. It is in the small ways, those subtle changes, that we make a difference. When somebody comes at you and you go, "This is not for me," you don't fight back. There's no need to fight back. You know, if there's no engagement, there can't be a fight. There's no reason to fight to prove yourself right. There's no reason to fight for an opinion or a cause. You can step aside, and it'll go right by you, and it'll find its own mark. It does not have to hit you or become your truth. You don't have to fight for your truth. All you have to do is know it and be it. For that embodiment is the vibration of peace that we want to come to know in this world. That's where the wise warrior is. That idea to fight to have your voice heard, it's a waste of energy. It's a complete waste of energy. The beingness of what you want to see around you, now that's powerful. And that's easy for us to do. Rob Bell says to find your rituals. He goes, find your rituals, develop your routines, create practices that center you, stick to them. Don't apologize for them, treat them, even the small things, like they are the big things. In your rituals that you do to center yourself, to bring yourself to be one in consciousness, to bring yourself to embody all that there is so that you can attract to you the experience you desire so that you can be that wise warrior in the world, every little thing is important. Every little thing is a big thing. Dan Millen says, the secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. That is very powerful, for it's very easy for us to get caught up in fighting the old way, dismantling the old thoughts. Just choose a new one. We can spend a lot of energy on dismantling everything that we thought to be the truth, everything that we want to know. Yes, we will deal with it sometime in our life, but choose a new thought now. Create a new way of being. Have a new experience, because once you're there, you can look back and go, really? Really? That was what I was buying all along. Don't need to do that. Just pick a new thought and begin the process to create it, embody it in you, and be it in the world. This is what I challenge you with. This is what I charge you with. When you hear something that is unlike what you desire, go, I'm not biting. I am not going to fight for my opinion. I am just going to know that mine is the truth for me. I'm going to walk this path. It's going to be the truth for me. I don't have to convince anybody else of it. I just have to be what I believe and make that the embodiment of who I am. And then you will attract that experience to you. Are we on board? Yeah. Everybody on board? Yeah? We can do this. You know, this is so much easier than fighting. Gosh, that energy that you have to constantly fight or ignore or to do all these things, when you can just know the truth for you right here, right now. And that can be what you give to the world. That makes you the wise warrior. You don't need a sword. You just need an idea. So in closing, I have this piece from Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says, what we demonstrate today, tomorrow, and the next day is not as important as the tendency with which our thought is taken. The dominant attitude of our mind. If everyday things are a little better, a little happier, a little more harmonious, a little more health-giving and joyous, if each day we are expressing more life, we're going in the right direction. Isn't that cool? All you have to do is start. Start with the idea, and each day it works, and we'll move in the right direction. So it is. Let's take this to prayer. This is a good one. We get to breathe into this knowingness. Yeah, we do. We get to breathe into this power. We get to breathe into this power that is greater than we are, that we get to use. We get to embrace it, embody it, be it, use it for the good of not just ourselves, but for the planet. And we do not have to draw a sword. So I know right here, right now, that we are blessed with this. We're blessed with this knowledge. We're blessed with this desire. We are blessed in every step we take in this direction. Every step our thought takes in its tendency to be that a little bit more each and every day. So that experience we desire for the world to have, that peace, that calm, that wonderment is present right here, right now. And I know that this is the truth of each and every one of us here today. And I know that as we walk our path this week, we walk it in that light. We walk it in the path of the samurai warrior with a blindfold on, knowing that we walk in faith, we walk in consciousness, we walk in truth. For we are one with the one as the one. And so I just release this prayer, knowing it's the truth, that Spirit has said yes. Yes, my beloveds, yes. And I call it so. And so it is. Thank you.